Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to Baldur's Gate. I am here on the Ryzen Road, and there's a sort of a boss battle here. There's a group of Gnolls. They're pretty tough, and it's part of a quest line called the Missing Shipment. So this is the boss. Now, one thing I've done is I've changed my group into a group of mostly clerics and one warlock, being Will. All three of these guys are clerics, because people have this belief that somehow clerics kind of suck or they're only good for support. The beauty of support, or not being purely melee type characters, is that you have a lot of flexibility in what to do. You can actually mix and match your cleric specialties and make quite a formidable team. As you can see, oh, I didn't loot that. As you can see, my little group of cleric has already cleared the first group of gnolls without much of an issue. Ooh, yeah, definitely need to grab my loot. So I'm here now looking potentially at facing the second group, which is actually more of the boss battle. So let's go ahead and go do that. So there's a strategy to how to approach this. Naturally, one thing about this battlefield is that there is high ground, and the high ground is actually on that side over here. And then you have the cave, which you can also approach from inside the cave and actually fight them from that direction. But it's actually better this way. I'll show you why. There's actually a cutscene and some special abilities utilizing the tadpole that you can make use of to kind of make this work for you. Now, one thing you should do, and this is always true of any encounters, one, you should save, but two, if you want to buff yourself, you should always do it before the battle starts, okay? That's going to be important. So what I can do is I can do stuff like Shield of Faith, which lasts until the time you lose concentration. What this gives you is a initial ability to not be hit as easily. Extra 2 armor class makes a big difference. It does burn a spell slot, but it's almost always good to go in loaded and ready to go, rather than going in half cocked and don't have your stuff ready. You can always increase your chances as well with gear and potions. I mean, not gear, but other spells and potions from scrolls. But regardless, generally speaking, having one buff ready is always good. Particularly the Warlock, you don't want to run into any battle without your Armor of Agathis, and certainly if you're a Pack Blade Warlock, you're probably going to want your Pack Blade ready. Okay, so now that I'm basically ready, I'm going to approach this direction to activate the conversation with that Gnoll, or at least the cutscene. And you'll see very soon why I do this. Right. He got a really bad initiative. Those two have pretty good ones. And then they have really good initiative. So they may get a hit or two in before I can even talk to that other Gnoll. Saved. Whew. Good thing. Alright. So, before we get to this Flind, which is the boss, you have these guys, No Fang of Yinogu. Woo, interesting name. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. Notice that for the light domain paladin, you have spells that focus on light-based damage. Okay. Regardless, I can always use your basic ranged weapon, like this. This'll, for now, save me. And what I'm going to activate is actually my spiritual weapon, because it lets me put it in different places, like up here. Let's see, can we put it here? I want to put it close enough that it can actually do something. Well, you know what? Let's put it right there. That's a bonus action. And then we want to get out of easy reach of range opponents. Yes, it is. It is your time. And, of course, you missed your opportunity. Okay, so he's also going to get close to here. Not enough movement. Alright, we'll end his turn. Okay, that's always good.
Someone's fighting the Gnolls. We should help.
Don't be a fool, lad. Shut your mouth and keep your head down.
Of course they're not going to help.
Leave the heroics to them that don't value their own skin.
I mean, if we don't help, theoretically, there'll just be no food. But anyway, it's something to think about. Okay, so because I rolled so poorly on initiative, we're starting off in kind of a bad position in that sense, because they get to go first. But notice they're all dashing towards me. And this one probably will dash around this way. Yep. Okay. Alright, now. Life Domain Cleric. So, one thing you can do is, you can heal your group really well, or you can actually silence, or, again, we can activate another spiritual weapon. What this does is, the spiritual weapon, in some ways, basically gives a additional chance of doing damage for one, and also an additional target for the other people. This is why clerics are so much fun when you have a group of them, because you have spiritual weapons coming out of your rear. Aha. And you're kind of, you know, you're a threat. So the beauty of this guy, he's a Tempest based cleric, and he gets a fun spell like so. And I can use my special channel divinity to do full damage. I'm not going to do that for this round. I usually want to save that later for when the boss really has to go down. Okay, so, and again, my turn. We can put them all over. So what it does is it gives us a ton of extra attacks. We want the hunter down. He's rather dangerous because he can do the frenzy thing and shoot you 3 times with his abilities. So we want him down. I'm even willing to take a chance to get hit. Alright, so he's down. Alright, good.
The shock
Ah!
of psychic pain, the pack leader's mind clamps onto yours. You see
The cutscene.
yourself through her eyes, a pulsing red cluster of organs. Feast. No. The voice has forbidden this meat. Gnolls see your whole world as a meal. This voice is acting as a leash, but it won't hold them for long. As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
Authority, meaning you can do something to make her obey you, right? Let's see. We can search her mind for the source of the voice.
The beast daubs the symbol of the absolute on a cave wall in blood. Buried deep, the tadpole struggles to assert control against the ravenous chaos of her mind.
So she's also infected. So here we go. This is what you want right there, this option. Illithid Wisdom, you're of the same pack. Command her to devour the other Gnolls. Oh. Have her do damage for me? Absolutely. I have +4. The difficulty class is a 2. Now, you can get a natural failure, and let's hope we don't. 19. Good. If you don't roll a natural 1, you should definitely succeed.
In your presence, the Gnolls tadpole rides in ecstasy, echoing your command. Its host will feast on Gnoll flesh to control the hunger, to keep her teeth from your throat.
From my throat.
Lurches, reeling suddenly as if bitten.
Now, obviously, using the tadpole has consequences. You won't know in the beginning what that consequence is. As of right now, without playing further, we don't know. Look how hard she hits. Oh my god. Alright. My Gloves of Missile Snaring, which I bought in the Druid Grove from one of the Druids, being put to use. Alright, so Light Domain Cleric. Okay? This is where burning hands come in handy. Have fun! So you burn that no a little bit. The hyena's down to 2. Where's my... Oh, my spiritual weapon's all the way over there. Bummer. Get away from me.
On the move.
And make them chase you. Now, he can take this one out, or he can potentially attack the Gnoller, Hunter. These Hunters are the dangerous ones, actually, because when they go Frenzy, they can do a ton of damage, which is the problem here. Let's jump up there. Critical hit. Nice. Very nice. Good job, Will. Good job. Ah! Working for us, not against us. I love it. And they attack my spiritual weapon rather than attacking me. That's exactly what I want. Miss. See, clerics, one of the good things about clerics is they wear armor. Most clerics, even the light domain, wears at least medium armor. And that gives you a very nice bonus. So she already has... Does she have a spiritual weapon? She does. Okay, so everybody's got a spiritual weapon, so there's no need to do any of that. He's the only one that's only slightly hurt, and why not heal him? We want to be fully healed and ready to go when this boss gets loose. So that ends her turn. Spiritual weapon. They fight like fighters, so they actually hit pretty well, even against heavily armored opponents. Okay. So I can use Shatter, I can do other things, but in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use Lacerate, because I have a great sword. Speaking of the great sword, this is the one from Zelkir in the Nautiloid. So when you kill him, you get this great sword of eternal flame, and boy, this thing is great. Now the Tempest Cleric, Tempest Domain Clerics get martial weapons. So this Cleric actually is proficient in that weapon. So the Everburn Blade gets used quite a bit on my character. Alright, so let's end that turn. Now, he is technically on our side right now, but I can't reach that guy, so... Okay, saved. But we do want to wear him down anywhere for later. But he's still going to go after the other Gnolls for us, which I love. Alright. So here's this guy. Again, I could use Burning Hands. I just need to be in the right position so I don't hurt my own guys. Or, in this case, I think I'm better off using this. So this spell, if oh, he's only got 1 hit point. Never mind, not wasting a spell. Never mind. Let's just do this. Oh, and of course I missed. Oh. Done. Alright, so once this Flint kills that no, it's going to turn on us. So we better be ready. Frenzy Fury gets multiple attacks. This is what makes them so dangerous, these hunters. Now, we have a chance to kind of set up for the inevitable conflict here. But might as well use... Yep, can reach him. Now, even though he's technically on your side, you can still attack him. There's no reason not to. Because if you don't wear him down, later on it's going to be your headache. The thing about these guys is their movements are really terrible. So I'm going to dismiss it. There's no reason not to. Okay, so... What now? Now, we're going to move.
At the ready.
again. Ah, she couldn't reach. Alright. Oh, critical miss. It's okay. Oh, I guess once I attack, it changes the situation. So, guiding bolt. Guiding bolt makes it so it's easier for other people to attack. She does not have the spiritual weapon now. I'm going to put it up here because we want to get that guy off of there. With the guiding bolt, you get a nice easy hit. And he's still busy attacking him too. So this is good for us. Divided enemies means easier fight. Guiding bolt. Oh, Shadowheart, you disappoint me.
This is worth the cost. Death won't take me yet.
Down. Okay, let's see if we can get this.
My path be true.
Pass is interrupted. Alright, that's no good. Okay, here we go.
Making my move.
This is your time. It's only got 9. There's a good chance I can put it somewhere here and kill him. Done. Now,
By the gods, you're a sweet sight. Are any of my crew still alive out there?
well, Lizelle likes to think she's the sweet sight too, although I would tend to disagree. No, it's a grin sight. All I saw was blood and guts. Yeah, she would say something like that.
I guess that's a no. Risen Road's more dangerous than ever. You're the first friendly face we've seen since Eltergard. We're bound for Baldur's Gate. Got some but we've a stop to make along the way.
Maybe I should come, so you don't get waylaid again. What are you transporting?
Some rich tosser in Baldur's Gate. He gets his shiny baubles. We get a handful of Terenths.
Terenth. Failed history, so I have no idea what it is.
Rich men place more value on wine and fine clothes than on the lives of folks like me. It's a pretty bit of frippery that'll sit on a mantle gathering dust. But the pay for delivering it makes the risk worthwhile. Listen, you look like you know how to handle yourself. You should meet my associates. We've got our own drinking spot by the tavern. Invitation only. Tell the fellow on the door, Little Serpent, Long Shadow. He'll take good care of you.
So, by rescuing those guys, in a sense, you just opened yourself up to a another potential path line, adventure path line, and that's dealing with the Dentarium. But we'll deal with that in another video. All right, let's go ahead and see what our hard work brought us. A parasite specimen and shattered flail. Now this is not a bad weapon at all. Does damage and heals you, provided you keep hitting people. Otherwise, you have a chance to go crazy. Going crazy is never a good thing. But we'll go ahead and grab that. Grab the year. You know what? Since we're all pretty well here, I'll just go ahead and have myself healed. Almost. Done. Alright. Generally speaking, no matter what, after one of these battles, you should do a long rest. I mean, unless there's some issue with doing a long rest because it's going to affect the story or progression thereof. Remember, some parts of the story, if you take too many long rests, you can actually lose out on certain quests. But until that happens, there's nothing wrong with getting long rests whenever you finish a fight, because you definitely do not want to end up not ready when the next big fight comes. So, alright, so that was basically the Flint fight, which incidentally turned out to be a lot easier than it could be for some people. If you had approached from the other direction through the cave, you may not get to have that cutscene with the Flint until much later in the fight. It's almost better to come this way and run into the Flint right away and get that. So here you go, speedy reply. This is good for Will for now. Light crossbow, oil of accuracy. So this is one of the weapons you can loot. And this guy we gotta loot real quick. Another year. And I believe there is a
It's our lucky day after all.
Always room for
The
more.
rest of our crew's off digested, and you're still alive. That's what
Ashes of Hyena Year. Oh, not too smart. Not too smart at all. Stepping through fire. Do we have Create Water as one of the spells here?
Whatever it takes.
Nobody has it. Okay. It's all good. Alright. So, there's stuff in the cave to loot. Definitely go through and the strong box they're going to take. Don't mess with it. But other than that, you can loot whatever's in here. There's definitely some stuff to gather. But that's the end of this fight and this part of this Ryzen Road quest. And again, on the journal, you'll see it becomes find the missing shipment. Right? You talk to the survivors. You help them. They invite you to meet their associates so you can go to their hideout. That's worth doing. But if you're going to do that, you might as well first go and take care of some of the other parts of this quest line. For example, Save the Refugees is still ongoing, and you don't want to do too many long rests before finishing that, so you want to go take care of that. That's really where I was headed, but since I'm already here, I might as well do the no portion of the quest, possible quest lines. So it's a side quest, but it's quite rewarding, and it gets you a nice weapon.
Still alive.
Okay, which I won't be using because I'm sticking with the twin two-handed weapon, but doesn't mean Lizelle cannot use it. Although I would prefer the Watcher's Guide for her for now, because if each time she misses, she gets True Strike on the next hit, so that's a good ability to have. And if you use True Strike, you could also use some kind of special arrow if you have them to make sure that the next hit is worth your while. But this is a good weapon either way. We will definitely make some use out of it. The rapier goes to Will. Okay. And his pack-bound rapier, it can be dismissed, and then when we recast, we can pack-bound this weapon versus that one. Notice that one does more damage, but if you pack-bound your weapon, it also does more damage. So it's really kind of a wash which way you want to go. But Speedy Reply does something. It has when you hit an enemy with this weapon, you get momentum for 2 turns. So you kind of move quicker, a little bit quicker, 2 meters more when you do this. So that's not a whole lot, but it's helpful. Every little bit of movement can help, especially if you plan to do any melee attacks. All right. So at this point, I am going to go do something in camp, and I want to show you guys one last thing here. And this is likely to get patched. I mean, we have a patch coming, I believe, tomorrow, so it'll probably get patched. And that is, if you spend money with weathers to respec, like I did, you know, I spent quite a bit of money. Once you're done, what you can do is you can pickpocket it back from him. He does not seem to react if you fail. Unlike everybody else who will get mad and attack you, Weathers does nothing. Let me see if I can maybe respect somebody just to show you guys real quick, and then we'll call it for this video. Let me see. Who do I have that I can respect still? You know, I can just respect Will, because why not?
One move ahead. A word, if I may.
Right.
Another. I shall be here in thy camp, for whenever thou hast need of my services. As thou desire.
Now, respecting is actually really good because you have Weathers. You can do it anytime. It's actually good for you to do it just to try out different classes. For one, it'll help you learn the game, and what you might find a class you really end up enjoying. The other thing is, of course, you know, respecting can change subclasses. So let's say you got tired of the Fiend, and you want to try something like the Great Old One, or you want to try the Archfey. Any of these. Now, it would break Will's character a little bit, but, you know, honestly, what's the big deal? I can also make him into a paladin, completely against the purpose of his character. But let's say I make him into a cleric too, and this is where I was talking earlier about the domains. You could be Tempest, War, Light, Life, and all these others. Now, for me, I find Knowledge, Nature, and Trickery to not be that useful outright. Tempest is a great one, because Tempest gives you heavy armor, plus you get martial weapons, which is great. It's a bunch of weapons like great swords and all that you can use. Now, the Light domain has more aggressive offensive spells, but you cannot wear heavy armor, so that is a downside. Life domain can also wear heavy armor, which is great. And you can use halberds and glaives. Believe it or not, there are quite a few decent ones, including in the future pikes, spears, halberds, and glaives that you can get that could make that life domain cleric quite useful, even in the melee format. And then naturally, there's war domain, heavy armor, pikes, halberds, martial weapons. So this is definitely the combat cleric. But honestly, since this also has the same thing and has more spell utility, I'm more inclined to go with Tempest rather than War Domain when it comes down to it. So, but the point of this wasn't to show just that. We're mostly just to show that what happens when you do the adjustments to have the character. Okay, let me see. I want to get to 14, 12. Yep. Right. The proficiencies look good. Arcana, Intimidation. If we don't do Intimidation, we can do Nature. Already got Persuasion. Right, spells, all that stuff doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so we basically spend 100 gold just to spend it, so we can show you this. Okay. Right, you failed, no problem. Notice Weathers does not react.
5-finger discount.
5-finger discount? Oh, you know, sometimes you should do this. That helps your chances.
Need any attention right now. Interesting selection.
This is where Asterion really helpful, but hey, there you go, I got it. And nothing happens. Okay, again, this is probably going to get patched, but hey, until then, respect everything to your heart's content just to see what all these classes will do at the lower levels. Respecting is obviously more fun when you're higher level because you get to see the full gamut of all the spells and abilities. But nothing wrong with testing out some different variations as it stands. So that is another battle and some information about gameplay in this Baldur's Gate 3. And again, don't, if you, in the beginning, if you can get this sword, definitely get it. It's quite the weapon. And it's quite good for beginning fighters, paladins, my Tempest Cleric, because it does so much damage. 2d6 plus 2 plus 1d4 fire is quite impressive. And if you have high strength, and this is the Cleric I gave a little bit of strength to, if you have high strength, it can make you even more deadly. In any case, I hope you liked the video. Feel free to comment. And if you like the video, leave a like. If you like my channel, would like to see more of these videos, subscribe, hit the bell, and you get those notifications. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.